now. It's kind of just a song about evolution. Okay, to begin the program. Once again, everybody, I'm still in the library, so we're getting as good as audio as we can. And I want this article up. Why won't it? There we go. I mean, I guess I don't have to worry about being loud now since everybody else is kind of like shouting everywhere around me, so there's at least that. All right. Man, it is so loud down here today. It's hard to think. So, as a lot of you know, there's a ton of flooding taking place in Dearborn, Michigan, and they knew for years that this was going to be an issue. They had talked about it for years. They tried to plan for it. Residents tried to say, "We need help. We need help." And once again, typical U.S., no help given. I think they're going on their fourth day without water now, without power. Many residents have been asking why the city didn't deal with the problem that's been ongoing for years. After a big flood swept through the city in 2014, residents said they thought Dearborn had improved, but we're now facing the same problems. Some criticize city council leaders and the mayor's office for neglecting them. Wayne County Commissioner Sam Baydoun said it's like a war zone. On Monday, city officials didn't comment on the residents' complaints, but instead they were focused on trying to assess the damage. Oh my God. Wow. In 2014, a flood swept through the country and region, drenching Dearborn with 5.8 inches on Outer Drive. On Friday, the city got about 2 more inches than that in the same spot. 2 inches more than that, so they got about 7.8 inches of rain. Oh my God. One person tried to say, "I want to dispel any kind of opinion that you're going to be immune from any kind of major flooding. Our system is built to handle 95 to 98% of any flood that occurs from a 3-inch storm that happens over 24 hours. And it seems they got 7.5 inches, maybe more in some places." Oh, what song it was 46 and 2. Oh, is this the roads buckling? I saw some images of roads buckling. Once again, everybody, I'm on about 2.5 or 3 hours of sleep. It was about 90% humidity last night, and I didn't fall asleep until I think like 4 a.m. And then I slept until about 7. Oh, the power grids are melting. Oh, God. This is their third 100-year storm in 7 years. The city is playing its response by ear. It's chaotic and people are suffering. In 2018, voters in Dearborn approved the combined sewer overflow. The $60 million project was reportedly even ahead of schedule. I put a lot of money into my basement. I had brand new doors. My hot water tank is gone. I don't have hot water. I have diabetes. It's the most horrible time I've been through in my life ever, says Baydoun. Hasn't received any help from the government. Nobody checked on us. Oh, wait. Niraj or Riku? I know this person. Yeah, I follow your work a decent amount. Didn't the dam break near the DuPont chemical facility and almost create like a new Superfund site? Or am I thinking of something else? Dow. Okay, Dow. Yeah, I knew it was something. Thankfully, if there's any good news to come out of some of this kind of stuff, is I have been finding agricultural techniques, energy generation techniques, energy saving techniques, combinations of the two. So I'm not as completely doomer as one might be in the face of worst ever heat waves across the Northwest and more flooding in Dearborn, Michigan and so forth, but that doesn't minimize the pain that the people are literally going through every single day. What's this story? Got detained in Myanmar? Burma? I'm going to come back to that one. So the claim is that Michigan is offering emergency relief to low-income residents who need home repairs from the flood. Applications must own the home that needs repairs and meet other requirements. Okay, so what about... What if there is a person that has like 2 rental homes? Are they not going to qualify? Gretchen Whitmer issued a state of emergency. Instead of sending the National Guard to Texas, they should be sending the National Guard to Michigan. Basically, our stream today is going to be talking about melting infrastructure. We're going to talk about carbon farming, a little bit more of carbon capture crops. We're going to be talking about robotics, the world's largest indoor vertical farm beginning construction in Abu Dhabi, what's happening with aero farms as well. And then I wanted to look into this detained journalist. I really don't know what's going on with this one. Parts of Dearborn enter... Oh, and then I'm playing Sea of Thieves all day today afterwards. Or at least that's what my plan was. What is this a photo of? Oh, are those our beds? Interesting. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. Parts of Dearborn enter the 4th day without power after flooding. It's been among the worst hit major flooding in the metro area over the weekend. 4 days later, specifically the south end near Dearborn are still in the dark. Is Biden better than Trump? Yes. Not by much. Um, Here is going to be my analysis. I am. I mean, I'm not a one voter. I'm not a one issue voter. But if I was, my one issue would be climate change. And for my entire life, which is 31 years, the Conservative Party of the United States has been actively denying and funding anti-climate science research, literally my entire life. And that's something that I can never forgive any person in that party for. So even if we're only looking at climatological issues, Biden is better. I don't care to go into the topic any further. There's other people that will, engage down that debate the entire time. But that's my answer. Man, was Mark Monkey talking about Dearborn at all? Is he still live? Is Mark Monkey still live on Twitch? No. Damn, I would have talked to him a little bit about what's going on. Okay. In continuing with the heat wave, dangerous heat wave is literally melting critical infrastructure in the Pacific Northwest. To anybody that wasn't here yesterday, we did a deep dive through this company, Heliogen. I think it's probably worth looking up. TLDR. Oh, here you go. Okay, so sunlight onto mirrors into the tower. Tower can heat up to, I heard, 1100 degrees centigrade. Too hot for even steel. However, they're insulating the tower and then shooting the heat downwards into stones. And then once the stones are heated up, they can absorb all of that heat, and then they can disperse it into electrolysis. So using that heat dispersal via electrolysis, one's able to then separate hydrogen from water, and then when the hydrogen is separated, that can be liquefied. Then once that's liquefied, that can be shipped across much greater distances. So the concept is doing these huge, very simple, very basic, very planned, calculated, automated, actuating mirrors, which would be lower cost than solar panels would be. Beam all the light up into the big tower, have the big tower heat the stones down underneath, use the stones for electrolysis. Is that the right word? What is the term for separating hydrogen from water? A hydrogen electrolyzer? So is that it? Hydrogen project? Okay, I guess I did maybe have it. Yeah, okay, maybe. Oh, Well, I guess they would still have to. What would they? What would be the mechanism of dispersing the heat from the stone into electricity? Is it going to be steam turbine? How are they going to? Yeah, that was kind of what I was wondering. Like, I mean, literally, we run the whole world on effing turbines that were invented how many years ago? Um, okay, here, what's this? Heliogen's technology will also enable power generation through the addition of a supercritical carbon dioxide turbine and green hydrogen fuel production in combination with an electrolyzer. What's a CO2 turbine? Hydrolysis, that's the word I was looking for. I think that I'm going to have an easy day, and then we're trying to teach ourselves complex science. Do you not have a Twitter? I need to remember to follow all the people that I read. Daryl Proctor. Good, not a lot of followers. Maybe you can get her on the show sometime. Okay. What are supercritical CO2 power cycles? While conventional power plant cycles produce power from turbines using water or steam, supercritical carbon dioxide cycles use CO2 that is in a supercritical state at a temperature and pressure above its critical point where liquid and gas phases are not distinguishable. It's a fluid state of carbon dioxide where it's held at or above its critical temperature and critical pressure. CO2 usually behaves as a gas in air at standard temp and pressure, and as a solid called dry ice when frozen. If the temperature and pressure are both increased from STP to be at or above the critical point, it can adopt properties midway between a gas and a liquid. At this state, it can be used efficiently through the entire Brayton cycle. The fuck is the Brayton cycle? Just while this is on my mind, CO2 capture on top of train. Did you hear about this at all? Direct air capture trains? Just don't let me forget to talk about this at some point. Not saying it's going to work, but it's just it's another company trying to do something. And again, I'm in my spaghetti phase. Make your spaghetti, throw it against the wall. If you throw 1,000 pieces against the wall, use like the 5 that stick. Okay, so you've got what temperature in Kelvin? That's not even that much, right? 300 Kelvin to... Wait, that can't be right. They're saying that at 26 Celsius, you get supercritical fluid. Is the pressure that important with it? They have a conversion right there. Oh, wow. Okay, they actually do. Yeah, I can't believe that that's the critical point. That's really low temperature. Supercritical carbon dioxide usually behaves as a gas in air or a solid. If the temperature and pressure are both increased to be at or above, it can adopt properties It has a relatively low critical pressure of 7.4 megapascals and a critical temp of 31, explained Qian Xu, a specialist on clean coal technologies at the IEA Clean Coal Center. A consequence of this is that it can be compressed directly to supercritical pressures and readily heated to a supercritical state before expansion in a heat engine. It can facilitate obtaining a good thermal match with the heat source. The critical temp is also sufficiently high for ready heat injection from the cycle at terrestrial ambient temps, has a great potential for high efficiency since a large temperature difference is available. Near its critical point becomes more incompressible and hence the compression work can be sustainably decreased. It's also nearly twice as dense as steam. It makes it more energy dense, meaning the size of most system components such as turbine and pump can be considerably reduced. Okay, so they are still doing a turbine pump. However, they're just using hyper pressurized CO2 because it's an ideal working fluid because it's non-explosive, non-flammable, non-toxic, and relatively cheap. Okay. Let's peek at this real quick video here. What does the S mean in SCO2? Oh, supercritical? So that's not representing a different mineral? Because it's applicable to most thermal energy sources such as fossil fuel combustion, nuclear, solar, geothermal, and waste heat recovery, the use of SCO2 in a power system has been explored for decades. Alright, here we go. This might be what we need. Researchers have conducted theoretical studies on numerous CO2 configurations such as condensation, simple Brayton, pre-compression, recompression, split extension, partial cooling, cascade, simple reheat, double reheat cycles. Fucking scientists. Examples of some variations of the approach are simple closed-loop Brayton cycle. Okay. The working fluid is heated indirectly from a heat source through a heat exchanger, as steam would be heated in a conventional boiler. Energy is extracted from the CO2 as it's expanded in the turbine. The CO2 exiting the turbine is then cooled in a heat exchanger to the desired compressor inlet temp. After compression to the required pressure, the CO2 is sent back to the heater to complete the cycle at a turbine inlet temp of 700 centigrade and turbine exit pressure of 8.27 MPa. Maximum cycle efficiency is estimated at 34.5%. This is still a little bit above me, everybody. Well, a lot bit above me. The ability to do heat transfer at low temps is the best advantage, it seems it. The more advanced recuperated closed loop Brayton cycle incorporates thermal recuperation through a heat exchanger that's introduced between the expander turbine, improves efficiency by reducing the amount of heat loss in the CO2 cooler. As the heat capacity of CO2 increases significantly with increasing pressure, critical point, operating the cycle at pressures in the region will cause the recuperation efficiency to be reduced, limiting the temperature to high pressure. I don't even know if I want to go through all of these, everybody. I'm not absorbing anything, really. Maybe this one, though. Hang on. Waste to heat. Heat from an industrial plant's exhaust system is recovered through an SCO2 heat exchanger. The turbo machinery pumps the liquid CO2 to high pressure and passes through a combination of recuperators and waste heat exchangers before entering the expander, which drives the shaft that in turn drives a generator. Dr. Kyun Shu. Okay, how did we get to here? So we were looking at the heliogen. Okay, so a huge solar array beamed into the tower and receiver. Insulated tower transfers the heat down into the stones. The stones are then going to heat up the carbon dioxide and add pressure. Then that liquid carbon dioxide is going to be somehow either expanded, cooled, and or heated further in order to drive turbines. Is that the very, very under 101 level course? Oh, they have I could call him. Welcome into the stream, everybody, by the way. I'm Brad of Touring News. Nice to see you all. I should probably... I'm going to get better at doing this one of these days. Hello, Anubis, Geek with Glasses. How you doing? Thrashish, good to see you again. I think it had been a minute. Confucius 2050, thank you for the follow. Biohaz, you've been here often, a lot lately, thank you. Hello, Leaf, Flagburner, Mr. Piece of Work, good to see you. Alatia Tenero, hi there. The work continues. Okay, so we came to that because we were talking about melting critical infrastructure and just like infrastructure in general. Oh yeah, I like it. Oh, I got my nice good afternoon. This shirt was given to me at the Lexington Farmers Market. Really nice of them. They were just, I guess, like super happy. Decided to stop lurking like you did for the past year. Yeah, good. It's not a bad community to not lurk in. It's a good community to lurk in though too. It's I think it's pretty informative. But yeah, they were just happy that I was kind of filming at their farmers market, and they were like, "Here, can we give you a shirt?" So, hell yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I wonder. So Biohaz, you've had 209 messages. You've followed since July 11th of 2020, but you only commented basically like 20 times until very recently. Yeah, wonderful. Oh, what's up, Kosa? Okay, the heat caused... I wish I could lurk in my own stream. I wish there was some kind of way that I could just like set my body on autopilot and do the work that I wanted to do. That's like the hardest part sometimes. Is like we know that our bodies are capable of doing some things, but it's just like our mind doesn't want to do it at that point. And yeah, it would be wonderful. Hello, Chocobo Chariot. Power cables are melting, school districts are closing, asphalt is too hot to touch, the heat wave roasting the Pacific Northwest is putting infrastructure at risk, and temperatures expected to continue to rise. This is a little bit old of an article, Monday. But the TLDR of the article is, we're having such extreme temperatures that it's affecting our power grid. Households in Seattle have 30% central air. Portland is about 60%. Rural areas having far less. Is anybody a Bad Bunny viewer? Nicole viewer? Any Bad Bunny viewers out there? Does Nicole not have any type of air in their home? Yeah, that's really that's tough. Oh yeah, the question was I don't think that they have I don't think they have any air conditioning in their house. And I've been sleeping in a non-air conditioned car at nighttime, and I know how shitty it is. Oh, okay. On Sunday, Portland was forced to suspend its streetcar service because the searing temperatures melted the line's power cables. What's a swamp cooler? Hmm. Interesting. I've never heard of these before. Oh, that looks nice. Evaporative cooling. It's like a fan that blows on a wet sponge. Wow. What were we looking at yesterday? Was it Go Sun? Yeah. I think there's some new viewers here today. Good afternoon to you too. BCZ4R. Has anybody ever heard of Go Sun? Look at this oven that they have. So you can get this little Go portable thing. And I'm just gonna play this like little video in the background here. But look at this thing. Makes it very humid. Oh, that's why. Okay, so that's why those are used in the greenhouses. Yeah, that's what's good about those for the greenhouses. History, manage history, Good News Network. That's not exactly what I wanted to do, but okay, so I know that some of you have seen me talk about this before, but there's a method, I mean, you all know it better than I do, in order to... Here. So as wind blows through the wet walls, the air on the opposite side is cooled and humidified. So by humidifying the air inside of a greenhouse, you're able to keep more water trapped inside and therefore use less water on your crops and keep it a better temperature. Yeah, it's coming, Biohaz. Okay, we're all over the place, but there's good technology that we're talking about. So there's also this, oh man, these people, they really want me to buy something from them. But to the people that weren't here from yesterday, this was sent to me by Baked Cupcake. So it's really just a simple contraption that beams sunlight into a central heating chamber that you can make vegetables, you can make hot water, you can get your coffee ready, you can make pork chops in there, you can make chicken in there, you can drink your Coronas, but you shouldn't put your Corona inside of there. So yeah, really cool thing from gosun.co. Yeah, really. I'm thinking of actually ordering one because I've been on a road trip for about 3 weeks now, and I eat out at I pretty much eat at Chipotle or Subway for every single meal. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking of getting one of these to see how it would work. Okay, so back to here's where we were. Streetcars melting. Yeah, wouldn't that be sick? Biohaz? I think that would be awesome. You can DIY a less efficient one? Yeah. Yeah. But I don't have like materials or a machine shop or anything to DIY one right now, so I would probably well, I mean, we had the one DIY'd yesterday from Evie. Uh Shout out the orb lady. This one. Can I not make it bigger?
Let's do it. One right there. One right there. I'm gonna do one more. Okay? Okay. Now I'm gonna just make sure the temperature is right. So I'm gonna use this nozzle right here to twist it and make sure all of the sun rays are pointing directly at the bottom of that. So I'm just gonna look at the bottom of it. Yep, it's looking good. So, you know, I'm gonna wait till it bubble up a little bit in the kitchen with Chef Yoshi. And let's see how these look. Bubbling up a little bit, so they're ready to turn. Let's see. Ooh-wee. Who said the solar kitchen didn't work? It looked like it's working a little bit overtime. It's burning. All right.
So that would be one way to do a DIY variant of one of them. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that when I drove from Indiana to Lexington, Kentucky, it was like 92 degrees, and the car didn't have any problems. British Columbia reached 115 Fahrenheit or 46.1 centigrade. What's the difference to all of you people that know Celsius more than me? What is the difference between centigrade and Celsius? Well, no, Zizu. Okay, nothing. Zizu, you can actually tilt your mirror. And the good thing about this Go Sun one, they say that you can do it even when it's cloudy. Well, they said a little bit of I don't know. We're gonna test it. I'm gonna get one of these eventually, and we're gonna find it. Well, actually, I mean, look at that. How often does something get 4.8 stars out of 125 reviews, and it's the cheapest one on the website? That's actually pretty impressive to me. So let's check the sport. I go a lot based off of reviews. Um, Probably too much based off reviews, to be honest. Wow, 140 reviews. 4.9. They only had one. They had three 3-star reviews, 13 4-stars, and 124 5-stars. That's honestly really impressive. Tried boiling water under full sun and went from 20 degrees to 80 Celsius within an hour. Looking to make omelets tomorrow. Great product in sunny Arizona. So many bots and reviews. Are there? Are there? Oh, Carl, I picked up one piece. I think this was one of the pieces that I needed. So this is USB to that. And then I think I just need 3.5 to 3.5. The video review that lady did was a real one? Yeah, true. I guess like so to partly answer Corvus's question, I've traveled so much before that I basically yeah, I don't have a headphone jack. Yeah, I don't yeah, so I can't just go 3.5 to 3.5. But I've traveled so much in my lifetime and slept in like just hotels or hostels or whatever that I really only go places based on Yelp. Like if you're I mean, for better or worse, if you're not above like a 4.2 or a 4.4 on Yelp, I'm probably not interested. All that I know is it's USB C to 3.5 mm, and then I was hoping that I can just put in this. And then this piece into the receiver. There are severe compatibility issues. Well, we'll find out when I test it later today. Wait, when did American infrastructure get upgraded to C minus from D minus? I want the one that has 3 stripes going into the phone. I'll have to give you a call, Carl. Okay, so we talked about Dearborn, Michigan flooding. I want to bookmark that. Don't need this. Bookmark. Don't need. I want to read that one. Bookmark. Bookmark. Heliogen, we got bookmarked. Probably need this one for the future.
Let's do it.
Okay. Now, I don't really know much about this. I don't know if it's a moonshot technology or so forth, but a new startup company is looking to enhance direct air capture of CO2 using train-loaded modules to help improve airflow and therefore capture CO2. Good afternoon to you too. Oh, the score for transit is still D minus. Okay, good. Good. Well, not good, but I mean, I didn't want to be wrong. Sorry, it's bad. It's very bad. Okay, so CO2 rail is using the significant amount of wasted energy produced in the dynamic braking system of freight trains to drive their direct air capture system. The unique approach can enable gigaton scale CO2 capture in an energy efficient manner, making it affordable for downstream CO2 users to make economical use of the captured CO2. It'll happen slowly over time if you keep organizing and pushing for it. Hello, Pepper Pepper. One of the most efficient forms of large-scale land-based transportation systems is rail. Per unit of freight, trains use 90% less energy than trucks. Slowing and stopping trains requires a braking system that generates a substantial amount of energy, much of which is lost heat. Imagine utilizing the energy lost to put a brake on greenhouse gas emissions by capturing them in a direct air capture integrated into the train and operating on the fly. Heirloom technologies are promising costs as low as $50 a ton. Restoring balance to our atmosphere. We're removing 1 billion tons of carbon dioxide by 2035 using natural processes. We're going to come back to that one in a moment. Yeah, Alatia. I'm trying not to be loud. I'm in a library in Kentucky. Oh, you asked what I did for power yesterday. It is a university. Yeah, I'm in the University of Kentucky at Lexington. Yeah. It's nice. I get my own little, space and so forth. Oh, you don't have video, just audio. Okay. Then yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, it's a 5-story library. We're going to come back to the direct air capture in just a moment because Carl is teaching me stuff. Yeah, it's okay, so this is the lobby. Probably 5th floor rooms. More study rooms here on this side. Lit up at nighttime. I was laying under this tree yesterday, doing some reading. It's a nice place. Built in 1998 or 1999. Okay, so Carl says it's actually better than conventional direct air capture because it's practically integrated with the fossil fuel emissions from the train. Yeah. By making use of waste energy from existing infrastructure aboard trains, CO2 rail can help optimize several of the above mentioned drivers to make direct air capture a reality. It doesn't require external power, as it's provided on board by the regenerative braking. What's that called? KERS? Kinetic Electric Regeneration System. I think they use them in like Formula One races and so forth. Or that was one of the first like places of innovation for them, right? As a mobile... Oh, Carl. Nuclear? Is that what these people are called? What was the nuclear... Mini nuclear reactors? Oklo. Did you hear about this at all, Carl? Yeah, I don't know enough about it yet. Massive volumes of air are collected by the moving train, eliminating the need for fans. As a mobile system, the equipment, land, and transportation needs of a static CO2 capture plant are removed or lessened. The CO2 emissions can be captured in a mitigation rail car. Freight and passenger trains in regular service can be deployed as mitigation units. The cumulative CO2 removal capacity of a global direct air capture rail system has been projected to be gigaton scale by 2030. Yeah, I hope you deliver too. You have one of their t-shirts. Nice. Waste not, want not with sustainable fertilizer. I'm not sold on that one. Neri Oxman. Isn't she, she's a pretty big person, isn't she? Why do I know that name? I've read some of her work before somewhere. The age of material ecology, operating at the intersection of technology and biology. Neri is calling for a fundamental shift in the way we design and construct the built environment. Healing our climate with barite. This is a pretty interesting person. Writer. Okay. It's amazing how from its conception, digital 3D printing has been creatively adapted to a myriad of materials such as polymers, glass, concrete, and metal. The printing technique has been scaled up from lab-sized curiosity to macroscopic dimensions. Polymath, artist, designer, inventor, innovative educator, MIT Media Lab. I wonder if I heard her on a Lex Friedman podcast. Her research combines computational design, material science, and synthetic biology, employing design principles inspired by nature to create new architectures. Her art installation at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City draws insights, organizational principles, and designs from tree bark, crustacean shells, and the work of silkworms, among other natural systems. She has a TED Talk. One Oxman case study describes an open, dome-shaped vault, 14.6 meters in diameter, 3.7 meters tall. They built it in 13.5 hours. Maybe I saw this TED Talk. Okay. What else do we want to cover here? I kind of want to go through some of these articles on my own because they're pretty complex and in-depth. So I think I'm going to return back to these two here. To make agriculture more climate-friendly, carbon farming needs clear rules. And Biden wants to pay farmers to grow carbon-capturing crops. It's complicated. Plus, too hot, the robots are not complaining. And the world's largest indoor vertical farm commences construction in Abu Dhabi. So those are the ones that oh, and this one too. And so we've got these 6 here. I am taking a quick stretch, running around the corner. Is there just like simple, just anything I can put on for a quick second? Actually, let's go with Okay. So to make agriculture more climate friendly, carbon farming needs clear rules. Laura Vanderpool, PhD student in ecology, Dale Manning, associate professor in the Department of Agriculture and Resource Economics, Francesca Cotrufo, professor in the Department of Soil and Crop Sciences, and Megan McMuller, research scientist at Colorado State University, wrote the piece. No Twitter handles, everybody? I'll have to find you all individually. Agriculture covers more than half the Earth's terrestrial surface, contributes 1/3 of global greenhouse emissions. Paying farmers to restore carbon-depleted soil offers a tantalizing opportunity for a natural climate solution that could help nations meet their commitments. An international initiative called 4 per 1,000, launched at the Paris Climate Conference in 2015, showed that increasing soil carbon worldwide by 0.4% yearly could offset that year's new growth in carbon dioxide emissions from fossil fuel emissions. Research shows that farmers and ranchers can also make their operations more resilient by increasingly variable weather by adopting practices that promote soil carbon sequestration. Carbon farming basics. Minimizing soil disturbance through no-till reduces carbon loss, diversifying crops, legumes, perennials, cover crops. Raising livestock and crops together, rotating cows among pastures allows grasses to recover from grazing, and the animals' manure and the impacts of their grazing regenerate carbon in the soils. Some farmers use them called regenerative agriculture, particularly in Black and Indigenous communities that have been excluded from access to capital and government subsidies. Increasing soil carbon through techniques like no-till is relatively inexpensive. Studies estimate that carbon farming costs $10 to $100 per ton of CO2 removed, compared to $100 to $1,000 for technologies that mechanically move carbon from the air. Carbon farming is also a potential revenue stream for farmers who can sell the credits they earn in carbon markets. Companies like Indigo Ag and Nori are buying and trading carbon credits from farmers. Of course they fucking are. Yeah, I'm kind of... How are you going to measure it? How are you going to determine how much you're actually saving? Okay, so Wired is begging for it not to happen. They're calling it a sweetheart deal for Big Ag. Private companies are getting on board big time. Measuring gains in sequestered carbon across an entire farm, field, or large pasture is a major challenge. I agree. We should also be suspicious because the big commercial farms that would profit from selling credits have traditionally opposed strong climate policies. Carbon farming is now heavily promoted by all of them. Of course, it's a new way for them to make it. One major challenge is that soils absorb varying amounts of carbon depending on depth, texture, and mineral content. Possible approaches include infrared spectroscopy, which identifies materials in soil by analyzing how they absorb or reflect infrared light, or machine learning, which can find patterns in large data quickly. I'm going to peek the video real fast. I just don't give a shit about your question. Well, yeah, there's there's who does Tesla get a bunch of money from? Do they have an investment with BlackRock? Or is BlackRock invested in Tesla, and then BlackRock is trying to be concerned about ESG, and then Tesla was going to lose a bunch of the money because, like, yeah, it was a whole big thing. Yeah, it was a whole big thing. I don't like carbon credits either. At the moment, Biohaz, yes. Oh, damn, LT, I'm really sorry to read that. BlackRock is a big holder. Yeah, I think there was a whole big thing with yeah. Okay. I think this was the company that kind of tapped Musk and said, "Hey, you're going to begin to violate our ESG models and our portfolio models." Yeah, I mean, BlackRock is probably what, a couple trillion asset under management. It wouldn't surprise me at the moment. Yeah, I pretty much agree, Monty. I pretty much agree. Okay, so Biden wants to pay farmers to grow carbon capturing crops from Politico, but it's complicated. We're probably not even going to have to read too much of this. The CME Group, isn't that the Commodities Market Exchange? Yeah, of course they're going to want a futures. Oh my god. We're done, everybody. BlackRock ESG was the excuse to stop Bitcoin. It was one of the proposed things. Yeah, I agree with you there too, Pepper Pepper. I Myth, thank you for the follow. 4 minutes ago. Welcome to the news team. I mean, yeah, it's really just basically saying that it's going to be captured by big agriculture, and then there's going to be a futures market on it. Nature-based offsets would be carbon sequestration techniques via cover cropping or permaculture or regenerative ag or so forth. So BlackRock, Tesla, ESG, Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure that's what part of the story was. Farmers are currently being paid $15 per ton of carbon sequestered as the market starts to get off the ground. Growing consensus that it needs to be more in the $30 to $50 range to draw more farmers in. It's not clear how much of the price of carbon can go up if the market is relying primarily on demand from corporations that have made voluntary emissions reduction pledges. Not sold on carbon credits. Okay. We've got 3 articles left, and then I'm going to video game for a while. And take some time to relax and have a good one. Too hot, the robots are not complaining. I guess this is as good a time as ever. If anybody likes my work, you can give a little bit of support that way, or on Cash App. I am Touring News with a $sign. Too hot, the robots are not complaining. Pickers worked at night to save the cherry crop in Washington. Restaurants shuttered in Vancouver, citing employee safety. Teachers and school bus drivers were sent home. Baggage handlers couldn't handle it. I think I've had robot sushi before. It was okay. They're looking for loopholes for having to check their carbon footprint. My thinking is the federal government is asking or looking for a way to pay farmers in order for them to sequester carbon on their properties. However, in creating this market, there's going to be things called carbon credits. And if a company is a major emissions polluter and or carcinogen to the planet, then they would be able to go into the marketplace and purchase these carbon credits to offset their pollution. Additionally, it's opening up a lane to create futures markets to hedge and speculate and gamble and casino-fy that thing even also. There you go, Monty. Well, I mean, but it gets hot in those kitchens and restaurants. Holy hell. I've worked in restaurant kitchens. It's ridiculous. I've never seen robots shake a wok for stir fry. What powers the robots? I guess, electricity. I guess like one of my questions would be which requires more electricity, powering a robot for a day or feeding that human for the day. I guess there's eventually going to be a threshold cross point where one robot can replace enough human labor that even though you're having to inject electricity into the robot, you'd be injecting less electricity than you would into the food to sustain the human and to transport the human back and forth to work. So, yes, BCZ4R. In a roundabout way, yes. Oh, wow. I hadn't even thought of this way. Okay, so they're also saying that if you have a warehouse with just robots, rather than climate cooling it to call it 68 to 72 Fahrenheit to allow humans to work in it, you can build your robotic system to operate in a multitude of different temperatures. So they're saying that you'd be able to save a huge amount of energy in temperature control regulation in different industrial capacities, and just have robots that can work from 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. There is actually something to that. Yeah, there is something to that. What happens when you dump the heat costs on human productivity? I had never really thought about this one before. Damn. A secular increase in temperature is one more reason not to invest in labor. Wait, is that the whole article? I guess that was the whole article. I love subscribing or following people on Twitter. I follow a lot of people. Yep, 2,500. Hello, Comrade Taco. I mean, the reason that I'm not like the best person for day-to-day politics is because one of my biggest concerns is, are we going to have a habitable planet in 2030, 2050, and 2100? And we're going down a techno hellscape of automation where there's going to be like 47 people around the world that own direct air capture patents, vertical automated farming patents, the heliogen patents, and then they're going to just automate every single piece of labor away. And we're going to have like 10 billion people with about like 1.5 billion. Well, okay, there's going to be more jobs than that. We need teachers, we need healthcare workers, we need bridge builders and plumbers and electricians and so forth. However, yeah, sure. Go ahead, McCoy. But I had never thought about this one for like a warehouse. So think about how much money Amazon spends on heating and cooling their warehouses so humans can work in them. They're going to try to get rid of that. They're going to want their warehouses to be as nearly fully automated as possible so they're not spending. And then they're also going to try to make the argument of, look, see, we're being like more Oh, God. I just went down a really dark fucking rabbit hole. Amazon is going to try to say that we need to get rid of labor in our warehouses. That way we don't have to climate cool the buildings and we can have a better ESG footprint. God, we're going to a fucking hellscape. I agree about consuming less, Mr. Piece of Work. I just don't know how to get that message across to society. I'm not even that good at it. Do I take Collins? You have some thoughts, but you're driving for work on and off right now. I do take Collins. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can call if you wanted to. Yeah, Comrade Taco. That's like, that was what ran through my head right there. Well, they're not going to be able to put some D's on it. I mean, they won't be able to. I don't know how. If you've seen the movie Time, that's what we're moving towards. Except insert like carbon. It's bad. Yeah, okay, Mr. Piece of Work. I'm not like not being nefarious against you or everything. It's very simple to type it that way, but it's also very difficult to institute that globally because like also let's run through let's run through your thing. I'm all for eliminating that. Whoa, a lot of people just typed fast. Yeah, with Justin Timberlake. How do you do it? Discord? Yeah, my Discord name is Touring News #7953. Okay, so just stop producing things for the sake of producing them. I'm completely with you. However, one of my questions is going to be, what's going to happen to those like 1 billion workers that are producing tchotchkes and trinkets? Like, I'm completely fine shifting out of there, but at the moment, that is their job. Be it in Bangladesh, be it in Vietnam, be it in China, or so forth. So even though I hate to tell a story, I very much dislike the fashion industry. It uses a shit ton of water. Everybody's updating their wardrobe every like 45 fucking seconds, and they're changing in like the back rooms of the award shows that they're at and so forth. So when COVID-19 happened, you had a breakdown in the fashion supply chains. You had like backlogs of orders and so forth. Great, we're not producing as much clothing. However, Bangladeshi factory workers, Indian factory workers, Indonesian factory workers, they all basically just got thrown out on the street. So we've developed a really fucked system where, if you read Bullshit Jobs by David Graeber, most of our jobs are bullshit jobs, but at the moment, it's the only damn way for people to sustain themselves. So as kind of Monty was talking about, we're stuck in this loop of like, we're just stuck in a loop on that one. Yeah, that's a nice one, head of romaine. Do we need UBI? I'm really, I'm kind of, I really just want internet, food, housing, and water. Am I missing anything? And healthcare. Internet, food, housing, healthcare. Food can be tied in with water. And then I can probably go without having a UBI. But if everybody gets their 2 checkups per year with the nutritionist, and you can like find out, I've taken some flack for this position before. You get 2 checkups per year with your nutritionist. They can come up with like a weekly meal plan for you with a varied diet. That way, you can pick from these like 17 vegetables that you need to have 14 servings of per week or something like that. And then you're supplied optimal nutrition for your dietary needs. Maybe you can't have gluten. Maybe you want to be vegan. Maybe you want to be paleo. I don't fucking care. If the only way that I'm going to get conservatives to go on board with this is I'm going to have to let some of them be paleo, I'll deal with the problems of that in the future. So a food system, a healthcare system, internet for everybody, housing, and then I guess people can deal with like what is going to be the purpose of currency after that part. And Monty, I mean, you're probably correct. Oh shit, you sent me a message on Discord. Oh, fair. Mr. Piece of Work. Okay. Call when I wish.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Alright, let me mute the stream. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I had a thought about the thing about the robots that can sustain high heat in the restaurant industry. That kind of brought up something that I've either heard or read someone, recently that one of the problems with, say, mining on the moon, which is one of the kind of a things that is one of the thrusts of, the capitalist development recently, is actually, developing robots that can sustain high heat because, venting excess heat in space is very hard because it's vacuum, nothing can carry heat away from the orbiter. One of the problems actually with astronaut spacesuits is overheat. So I wonder how much is that is basically a stepstone and testing ground for that bigger project, another project.
I usually just I don't really talk about space at all. That's like other people's thing to worry about and worry on. I mean, people are going there, rich people are going there, but yeah, I'm at the moment just focused on like, I guess like how things are kind of shifting down here, maybe.
Yeah, it's just yeah, we don't have to talk about, well, you don't have to talk to me about anything, but that kind of just worries me because, well, if people are doing this, are they doing it because they want to improve things here, or because they just want to go to space and have space mining and just like not care about it down here,
Yeah,
you know?
I have a feeling that we're gonna have so many problems before even the richest of people can figure out what they want to do in space that, yeah, I don't know. I just don't really think about it all that much.
Interesting. Interesting. So not thinking about like expanse, like if you have seen the series, Future. People going out and having more capitalism in space.
I guess like again, just we plowed a third of our fields under in the western United States this year, and we don't have water in the Midwest,
Yeah.
and so forth. So
Yep.
it's just yeah, I'm just really I'm focused on Earth issues, and I can't stop Bezos, and I can't stop Branson, and I can't stop Musk and these other people.
Yeah, unfortunately. What do you, considering the crops, what do you think? What your thoughts for like three people owning 70% of arable land in the United States? I guess you're not fan of that.
No, I don't know. I don't know if it's exactly that high, but I know Gates and people own a good amount. Your audio is pretty rough. Is there anything else like in particular that you wanted to get into?
Nah, that's okay. Just one thought.
Okay, I
Have a
mean,
good one.
we'll get in
Yeah.
touch sometime.
Yep. All right.
All
Have
right,
a
see
good one.
ya. Yeah, I mean, space is a thing that people are going to be going to deal with, but that's just not exactly my purview at the moment. Community kitchens would be great too, where you show up every night and get a dinner and time with the community. Breaking bread creates bonds. Yeah, that would be wonderful. Oh man, Amazon runs so many products at a loss. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so okay, here's a method of ways that this can be done though. You can you could okay. I Everybody, you can tell me what the flaws of my argument here are going to be, but this is just going to be like what I'm going to go through real quickly here. Let's say that our community gets the money together to open up a okay, this is like an immediate thing that we can do right now. This isn't an end solution, but this is something we can do right now. So we get the money together to open up a restaurant. We'll just call it a restaurant for lack of a better terminology. If you live within this zip code, you pay 50% less. If you live outside of the zip code and you're coming to the restaurant from elsewhere, you're going to be covering like a little bit of the cost to be able to greatly benefit the local community. I was kind of even thinking there's a way that this could be done with like so we have bodegas and little convenience stores everywhere. I think that it would be pretty nice if some of those were converted over to kind of like volunteer operations. So you could kind of have you could have a community buy a bodega. You could staff it with Steph works one day and Bob works another and Alice works another and Brad works another, and like break it into shifts or so forth. How do you prove residency? Well, you're either recognized by the community or you're not, would be like the non-invasive way. You could do it on the honor system if you want to go the non-invasive way. I guess you could just go like honor system. The thing that I'm running into in my community is people are so tied to their personal preferences around food. It's a gradual process of getting people less tied to their first preference and enjoying just food together. Nothing to say of people's various diets. I'm thinking of a completely different topic. I was having a talk somewhere with people about it's just off topic, not important. If they're family owned, they're already volunteer orgs because family pays you in food, shelter, water, and hugs usually. Yeah. Oh, there's a local kitchen called Same Cafe, so all may eat. They let you get food for free. You can work dishes or something if you have to pay, or you can set the price. Well, yeah, I didn't go for the ID route. Yeah, I've also thought of I would like to have a restaurant or a bar one day where it's just like pay what you want. I think that's pretty cool. I think if I ever get into farming, I would probably try to just have everybody just pay what they want and hope that it works out. We'll see. I think what I was thinking about in my off topic was if you're a personality, if you're a pundit, if you're a journalist, if you're a reporter, if you're a streamer, if you're like a whatever, the more important thing is, I guess, like the web that you build and the other people that you kind of like empower or get motivated into things or so forth. And I was just having like a weird down the rabbit hole kind of thinking thing of I like how, I mean, obviously this channel is still pretty much about me. It only works when I turn the camera on or so forth. But I like to think that more than most communities, it's as dependent on me as it kind of is the people that come in to contribute and collaborate. So that was just like a roundabout long way of saying thanks. You're cool. What if they all pay a penny? Then they all pay a penny and we go bankrupt and it's back to the drawing board. No, I didn't see that, Alatia. McDonald's occupation by workers in France for the purpose of running a food kitchen where the judge awarded the building to the occupiers. No, I didn't see that. Has anybody studied sociocracy? You like it as a governing theory. It organizes power to the edges, and its focus on consent means that people start to look for solutions that satisfy everybody's needs instead of their own personal preference. No, more for me to learn. get what you're saying. There's so much that you could be doing around here in your neck of the woods. You just want foods and a place to sleep, hide from the heat, rain. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't really need much else except get me living to tomorrow. Oh, same has been running for over a decade. Nice. I know that there's a restaurant in Pennsylvania that's pay what you want to. How do we detach our local economies from the greater outside ones, specifically the currency? Well, when somebody gets that answer, I think we're going to have a different world. Because I sit here every fucking day, and I'm like, okay, I want to do things, but those things require money. And getting money requires a lot of other, like, loops to go through. Yeah, it's probably the biggest question that I struggle with. How do you, quote, acquire capital, quote, to build local systems and community systems and local infrastructure? Because at the moment, you can't just get stuff. You got to buy it. I'm more of talking about how to get there, though. Head of Romaine. Like, we've got to get from here to there, would be my thinking, or my concern. Well, and startup costs are not going down, everybody, because here's what farming is going to. You know, our next topic is we're going to be talking about the largest indoor vertical farm beginning construction. Yeah, I just keep trying to think. I'm not going to be the one to give you all the the solutions or whatever. I might be the one to be like, oh, hey, we can innovate and get like a little bit more energy efficiency out of this or so forth. I'm not well read enough on theory. I'm not well read enough on democratic principles or quadratic voting or the socio word that I already forgot here. I'm a good mixture of a grunt and an intellectual who, I can read papers. And then disperse information from there. And I can dig a shovel if we ever have to plant trees. Fair, Monty. Okay, 2 more articles for the day here. I'm not going anywhere. I just have to stretch, crack my back. Yeah, into that corner to the right. Okay, so this whole money thing and capital for building these farms. Let me think about this again. I mean, I guess one good way to go about doing it would be in every little residential area, organize with your neighbors, petition your municipality to convert part of a park into a community garden. Have your design already, quote, built or written down on paper or so forth. Then you can even begin with like a quarter of an acre of a community garden. Show the benefit to the town, to the city, to the borough, to the municipality, or to whatever. And then from there, further expand and show that via community action and community inputs and community labor inputs, you can develop not only a food production system, you can develop a Montessori school, you can develop educational programs, you can build community and so forth. Um, so, like, if you were asking me for what do I do right now, I would start going to town council meetings with a small contingent of people saying we want to be able to build some food sustainability and resiliency with some raised beds or some no-till beds or some high tunnels or so forth. Like, is there any land around that you're all willing to allow us to grow on? I can tell that I still have problems in my life. I'm here talking in a library for the past 2 hours, and I'm side-eyeing the people behind me that are talking very, very loud because I'm like, yo, the fuck are you doing? But here I am. I've been talking here for like 4 days. We all have issues that we got to work through. Yeah, there's something to that, Monty. So the world's largest indoor vertical farm has commenced construction in Abu Dhabi from Aero Farms. It's going to be a research center which will focus on ag tech, vert farms, and innovation. Partnering with Abu Dhabi Investment Office, 54,000 square feet. It'll be the largest indoor vertical farm in the world. So is App Harvest not vertical? I guess they fall under horizontal. Because 54,000 square feet is smaller than 60 acres. So I guess App Harvest is considered horizontal hydro and not vertical. They're going to have 60 engineers, scientists, and horticulturalists to do phenotyping, phytochemical analysis, organoleptic research, advanced speed breeding, and have robotics, automation, and so forth. Hmm. Not the biggest of stories. Okay, and one more to go over. I've heard that there's some person that's been going on farm tours that's been staying in parking lots of one night rental properties and then accidentally falling into the breakfast rooms in like a dissociative fugue, confused state while partaking in food consumption and then exiting the one night rental facilities to continue their day. So some people are trying to do it, Mr. Piece of Work. What's this farm doing in the middle of of Newark? Man, Newark is a rough city too. I've been to Newark a few times. Brick City. Oh, but this is the same company, Aero Farms. They're claiming up to 2 million pounds of kale, bok choy, watercress, arugula, red leaf, mizuna, and other baby salad greens. They're already publicly traded, of fucking course. Oh, they're not publicly traded yet, but they will be soon. God damn, the Dow is at 34,000. The S&P is at... Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, this country. I'm so sorry for all of you that you just have to deal with my nation's bullshit. All right. I'm gonna read this one on my own. I think this is bringing us to the end of my news delivery. Is that really what's happening? Let's take some questions for a minute or two, or thoughts or anything from people. I'm working on. Working on recording a podcast with a farmer down here, talking a little bit about her backstory and how she got into aquaponics and so forth. I've got a farm tour at Wells Plant Farm coming up on Friday. I think I'm going over there. I've got more videos to upload today, which is what I'll be doing when I'm not gaming. I think the temperatures in Lexington have finally broken, so I might get a good night of sleep tonight. Yeah, nice. Tomorrow, we're actually back down to like acceptable temperatures. Ooh, good. 15 at night, 13 at night. Oh, man. Actual ability to sleep at nighttime, that's clutch. Yeah, any thoughts, comments, concerns, questions, tips? Anything for me? Oh shit, keep this eye on the Brazil law. I didn't even click it. We missed that one. Sorry. Okay, let's go through this one. Yeah, double vaccine. Long time ago. Okay. You can take the call after the raid. Cool. I'm going to be back streaming within like a half hour, but I'm going to be video gaming. And with 55 people here, I might as well send you all to an educational place. A bill curtailing indigenous land rights advances in Brazil's Congress. A bill allowing commercial ag and mining on protected tribal reservations in Brazil advanced in... I've been double vaxxed since like April 28th or something. The proposal known as PL 490 cleared the Constitutional Affairs Committee and is headed for the lower house plenary. Of course, far-right President Bolsonaro is arguing that indigenous communities are blocking development of the Amazon. It's going to allow the government to build roads and dams, tap strategic resources on reservations, and allow access to the police and military without consulting indigenous communities. Oh my God. Last week, riot police used tear gas and rubber bullets to disperse indigenous people protesting against the bill outside Congress. Jesus. Oh, you came at the wrong time. Crazy Hawaiian. Yeah, you accidentally came at the wrong time. Yeah, you're right about the uncontacted peoples. I hadn't even thought about that part. I have not rated Emily in absolutely forever. All right, I'm going to have lunch. I'm going to call Carl, and then we're going to fire up some Sea of Thieves. Thank you all for tuning in, making my job worthwhile. It's not fun to just talk in front of a camera without any viewers. So I will see some of you all shortly.